Okay, thank you so much.
Welcome.
What I want to know is why is it that every time, you guys get on and you criticize Islam,
Yes.
but when you go to a channel of Islam, we don't criticize the Christians.
Now, wait a minute. And now, I can show you scores of Muslim imams in the Middle East who cite verses that the Jews are Kurd wa Khanazir, are pigs and monkeys, that they should be annihilated. We just had a program on tonight. A Muslim sheikh in Lebanon says that Muslims should fight jihad against the unbelievers in Germany, should fight jihad against Israel and annihilate them. So this is common all over the world.
Even right here, right now, in America.
There are some that will say that in America, but of course they're a bit more careful, because if they make too succinct of something, of a statement, then they could, of course, be jailed if they're not careful for death threats. But death threats do happen. Terry Jones, maybe he was wrong to say he's going to burn the Qur'an. Nevertheless, he received hundreds of death threats. I have received death threats on this program on the air by Muslims telling me that they're going to crucify me like the Jews did Jesus on the air here in America. They do happen.
And it states that we are not the ones to judge others. Is that correct? Even in Christianity, we are taught we are not to judge others.
Well, Jesus says, judge not that you may not be judged, but he also says, you'll know a tree by its fruit. And so we have to understand the context of those passages. Judge not lest you be judged, talking about final judgment. God alone can judge whether the person ultimately is going to go to heaven or hell. But Jesus tells us to examine people's fruits. He makes it very clear. A good tree will bring forth good fruit. A bad tree will bring forth bad fruit. By their fruits, you will know them. So we are to judge. But dear friend, I am not just making things up about Islam. I am giving chapter and verse from the Qur'an. I can give chapter and verse from the Hadith. I can give chapter and page number from the Sirah literature, the biographies of Muhammad. Islam, from the beginning, demands to fight against the infidel until they are fall into submission. Surah Al-Tawbah, Surah Al-Anfal, the 8th and the 9th chapter of the Quran. These things haven't changed from the beginning. I'm not just saying that what Muslims do today is wrong. I'm saying what Muhammad did is wrong, and that Muslims today who are very conservative and follow the Quran literally are doing the same things Muhammad did.
Okay, but the same with Christians.
There is not one verse. There is not one verse in the New Testament anywhere where Jesus tells Christians to go and fight the infidel. Not one. But I can give you over 100 in the Quran, which says, Ya ayyuha mu'minin, Ya ayyuha al-nabi, go fight, jahada al-kufar, kill the unbeliever, the infidel, kill the mushrikeen, Surah 9:5, fight against the people of the book, Surah 9:29. I can give you all kinds of verses specifically telling Muslims to fight against Jews, Christians, and polytheists. There's not one verse in the entire New Testament that tells Christians to go and kill or hurt anyone.
On the Twin Towers, sir, may I ask, who is the ones that bombed the Twin Towers? It was not Iran. It was not Iraq.
It was Muslims. The answer is Muslims. Not Iraq, not Iran. It was Egypt and Saudi Arabia. Each person, each hijacker claimed to be Muslim. I'm not against Iran or Iraq or Egypt or Lebanon or Syria or Indonesia. I'm against Islam. I'm not against Arabs. I'm half Arab. I'm against Islam. It is Islam which drove those men into those planes. It was the promise of paradise. The only assurance of salvation that you have in Islam, dear lady, is by dying as a shahid, as dying as a martyr in Islam. That's the only assurance of salvation that the Quran gives you. To have been a Christian and to have the promise of assurance of salvation by grace, by the unmerited love and favor of God towards you through giving His Son Jesus to die for you, because He loved you so much that He gave His Son, that you might have everlasting life, that your righteousness might be received from Jesus Christ's righteousness. What a wonderful gift. What an assurance of salvation. But in Islam, you have no assurance of salvation unless you die fighting the infidel as a martyr, and that is why those 19 hijackers killed themselves, not for money, but because they truly believed that as soon as they died, as they shouted the takbir, they would immediately go to paradise, receive their 72 virgins, have intercession for their relatives, it's all in the hadith. I can give you chapter and verse. Email me, newsandviews@abnsat.com. It is Islam that caused those people to do that.
But it was America that brought those people over here to live and to teach them what they done.
No problem. They came here and they used our technology to kill us. Absolutely. But it is Islam. How many of those 19 hijackers were Christian? How many? How many of those 19 hijackers were Jews? How many of those 19 hijackers were atheists or Hindus or Buddhists? They were all 100% Muslim. Islam is the problem. Please don't take offense personally. It's Islam. Islam is what motivates people to kill people.
But how can you say 100% that they were all Islam?
They all claim to be Muslim. You can go and you can study their family history. You can study notes that they've written. They all claim to be Islam. All of the terrorists in America in the last 5 years, all of them, Najibul Azazi, Nidal Maliki al-Hassan, all of these men claim to be Muslim. Hussein Smadi in Jordanian in Dallas tried to blow up a building there. Michael Fenton, an American convert to Islam. All of them claim to be Muslim. Now, you can say, well, they're not Muslim, but they all claim to be Muslim. None of them claim to be Christian. None of them claim to be Jews. All claim to be Muslim. Nidal Maliki al-Hassan, as he killed 14 Americans at Fort Hood, Allahu Akbar. He didn't say Jesus is Lord. He didn't say Shema Ya Israel. He said Allahu Akbar. He was a Muslim. He thought he was doing Allah a service. But it's not just what he did or what the World Trade Center did or what you think or what I think. It's what Muhammad did and said that's right here, and that conservative Muslims who believe the Quran word for word continue to do, because in the Quran you're exhorted to follow the example of Muhammad. And the example of Muhammad is to fight against the unbeliever.
What about Timothy McVeigh?
What about Timothy McVeigh?
He's a Christian and he killed his own people.
First of all, quickly. First of all, wait a minute. First of all, Timothy McVeigh, because he was white, doesn't mean he's a Christian. You have no evidence that this man was a Bible-believing Christian. That's number one. But number two, you continue to misunderstand. Tell me about your Quran. Do you believe the Quran? Is the Quran your holy scripture that you follow? Okay, then the Quran tells you, as a Muslim, to kill the mushrikeen, the polytheists, wherever you find them in Surah 9:5. Are you going to go and kill any polytheists that you can find?
No, I will not.
Well, then why won't you follow your holy book?
From right and wrong.
What?
I was taught right and wrong.
Well, okay, so then you're telling me that for you to go and kill a Hindu who's a polytheist, would that be right or wrong?
It would be wrong.
But the Quran says you should do it. Surah 9:5. Kill the polytheist wherever you find him. Qatlu al-mushrikeen. You can go read it in Arabic, in English. Surah 9:5 tells you, as a Muslim, to kill the polytheist wherever you find him. Something in you is telling you that that's wrong. But the Quran tells you it's right. It seems that you have a conflict in your heart. Are you going to follow the Quran, which you're telling me is wrong, or are you going to follow your heart?
Well, I'm not going to follow Christianity because I had done that for 35 years.
I don't believe you have. You don't understand. You don't understand Christianity, and you certainly don't understand what the Quran is telling you. You're telling me that you're following a book, that this is your holy book, that you're a Muslim, but you refuse to obey what it says. It says to fight against the Jews and the Christians. Are you going to fight against the Jews and Christians?
You're going to tell me that I've lived in America all my life, and I did not know what Christianity was?
Living in America has nothing to do with Christianity. Living in America has not, you think Timothy McVeigh's a Christian because he's white. You think you were a Christian because you lived in America. You got a lot to learn. Christianity doesn't have anything to do with being white, doesn't have anything to do with being American. Neither does Islam have anything to do with the September 11th hijackers, except they claimed all of them to be Muslim. You shouldn't judge just by what people do. Go to the source. You're ignorant about this book. You need to learn the Arabic language. You need to understand exactly what this says. You need to understand that Surah 4, verse 34 in this Quran tells your husband that if you disobey him, he is to admonish you. If you refuse to obey, he's to lock you in your bedroom. And finally, if you refuse to obey, he is to beat you. Do you agree that your husband has the right to beat you according to your Quran?
If that's what it takes, yes.
Okay, well, there you go.
Know what?
So you're going to let your husband beat you. You're going to let your husband, but you know,
1 out of 4 American women are abused sexually, mentally.
Okay, is that right? You told me you have a sense of right and wrong. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
It's right for women to be sexually and mentally abused.
According to America, yes.
Okay, so and the Quran says that husbands should physically beat their wives. Is that right?
And they don't. And
okay, so will you ask your husband to slap you in the face right now for being disobedient to the Quran, which tells you to go and kill the polytheist, and you said that that's wrong?
Yeah, you want me to?
Yeah, have him slap you. I'd like to hear it.
Slap me in the face for being disobedient to the Quran.
Go ahead.
Never.
Go for it.
Slap her. Slap her. Udrubahuna. 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 Slap her. That's their word in Arabic in 434.
You know, I need to ask you.
Udrubahuna. Did you slap her, Hussein? Hussein, did you slap her?
Never, because...
Okay, Hussein, you are disobedient to Surah Al-Nisa. Surah Al-Nisa, Ayya Arba 30, it says that you are to scourge your wife if she's disobedient. She's being disobedient to Surah Al-Tawbah, which says to kill the polytheist wherever she finds him. Now she's being disobedient and mocking you, asking you to slap her. You refuse to slap her. You're both disobedient according to the Quran. You're both munafiqun. Am I right?
Listen to me, Joseph. It be you speaking right way, you have to be speaking good way. And two wrong no make right. And I think you try me and confuse another about what you say. I believe, and what you believe, this is your choice and my choice. Number 2, I'm American citizen, but I'm from Iraq. Do you speak in Arabic?
I do speak some Arabic. I'm not fluent.
Because I see how you speak in Arabic. You can't judge people. I'm speaking English, I speak in Arabic, I speak in another language, but never ever I talking about any religion bad, because what I'm raised, same thing, if you have the right way, you have to say good way. How you can change people? You can't change people.
Okay, but here's the question. Here's the question for you, Hussein. You believe in the Quran, right?
Listen to me.
You believe in the Quran, and the Quran says in Surah 9:29 that you should fight against the people who've been given the book if they do not pay you and if they do not follow everything that Muhammad said to follow and forbid everything that Muhammad said to forbid. This is pork. I love to eat pork. It's delicious. Muhammad said you're not supposed to eat pork. Therefore, according to the Quran, Surah 9:29, you are supposed to fight me until I pay you the jizya with willing submission and feel myself, sagherun, humiliated or made small. Are you going to fight me because I like to eat pork?
Never.
Well, Surah 9:29 tells you to fight me.
Do you know what they said about pork, Joseph?
What's that?
They have disease, and you don't know they have like what they call something in pork because we no eat pork.
Oh, okay, that's
a lot American no eat deer, no eat animal.
Okay, you're right, yeah. But that's not the point. My point is, you and your wife claim to be Muslim. Islam and your Quran tells you to do certain things if you're going to be an obedient Muslim. But you're telling me that the things that the Quran tells you to do, like kill the mushrikun, the polytheists, wherever you find them, fight the Jew and the Christian, Surah 9:29, you're saying those things are wrong. So my question to you on this live TV broadcast where millions see you and your wife, what kind of Muslim are you if you don't follow the Quran that you say you believe in?
I think, Joseph, you have to say something right thing. Example, if you said about Quran, we believe Quran, but I want to know something right way, anytime, every time, good way. And you can say about Quran something, and I believe Jesus, I believe God, I believe Quran. This is my choice. We live in United States, not because I come to United States in UN or something. I come to United States because I am citizen American. I have to right.
Welcome, ahlan wa sahlan bik, ya Hussein. But when you come here and your wife, she converts to Islam, but she doesn't know Islam.
Iraqi. I am from Iraq. I am from Iraq, original Muslim.
Ahlan wa sahlan.
I live in Jordan 11 years. I work in military in Iraq 9 years.
Ahlan wa sahlan. But you are not following. You are not following the Surat al-Mustaqim by the knowledge of Islam. You're not following Surat al-Mustaqim the way, the truth, and the life in the Bible. And your wife is not understanding either Islam or Christianity. She asks you now to beat her. You guys are confused. I pray for you. I pray for you, Hussein. I pray for the wife of Hussein. I pray for you to try to understand the truth. And my friend, let me just say as nicely as I can, what you and your wife have said tonight, you have shown me that you have a good heart, essentially, that you believe in right and wrong. And your belief in right and wrong does not match with the book that you say you believe, the Qur'an. The Qur'an says to fight against the infidel. The Qur'an says to beat your wife. The Qur'an says that women are less than men. These things you don't agree with. You're a good people. You have a good heart. You have adopted the truths of Christianity. I encourage you to come all the way and truly accept the one who gave those truths, because Jesus says, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. No man comes to the Father except me. Hussein, won't you receive Jesus as your Savior tonight?
Joseph, you still with me?
I'm still with you. I'm waiting for your response.
I would like to say to you, you stole my brother, and I love you in my heart, but you have to say something right thing, not wrong thing. My point to you, I would like to hear you anytime, but never ever I do something wrong way, and should be you do different thing about what you believe. And if you won't do something right way, you have to do something right thing for what you believe. No believe. I know you no believe Islam. They said to you.
But Hussein, there's only one truth. Either you're right and I'm wrong, or I'm right and you're wrong, or we're both wrong. We can't both be right. And Jesus said, "Ana huwa al-tariqu wa al-haqqu wa al-hayatu, laysa ahadun ya'ti al-ab illa bi." I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father except by me. You can't believe that Jesus was a prophet and not God. Jesus claimed to be equal with God, claimed to be God in the flesh. Jesus came to be your Savior. You and your wife and me, we have been separated from God, just like Adam and Hawa, just like Adam and Eve. Why were they kicked out of the garden? They were kicked out because of their sin. They were separated from God. And you and your wife are separated from God because of your sin, just like I was separated from God because of my sin. There is nothing you can do to go back to heaven. Adam and Eve couldn't go back to heaven in their lifetime, and he was a prophet. How do you think you can? You can't. But someone has to be perfect. Someone has to be bidun al-khatiyah. Someone has to be clean, just like the kebsh that is in the dhibhan azim that Abraham was to give his son, you remember, as a sacrifice. But God ransomed him with a mighty sacrifice, and that is a picture of Jesus Christ. God gave his son for you, Hussein. He gave his son for you, wife of Hussein. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Is there any promise like this in Islam? Well, there's your answer. There is no promise like that in Islam.